I'm not perfect. I find it very difficult not to eat. I also don't like exercise. I don't like the cold. And the fact that I can do this and get to this point, it's not easy. I'm not saying you can do this tomorrow. And I've been working on this since I was in my 30s to get to this point. So when would I start? You ask me. Well, there's no science as to when the best time to start is, other than the earlier the better. If you're a mouse or a rat, that's what the data says. But I wouldn't want anybody as a teenager or perhaps even in their 20s doing this. They have already their longevity defenses are up, maximal. But once you start to get into your, and definitely by your 40s, your body's starting to slow down in its ability and desires to defend itself. And our lifestyle is what is making it worse. Sitting around, eating whenever we want, not moving as much, not experiencing temperatures that are out of our comfort zone. All of this is conspiring to make us frail in our 70s and 80s. On average, you don't have to have a life like that. I'm just saying what the science says. Let me tell you a scientific fact. If you take 10,000 mice, roughly, and you give them different combinations of protein, fat, and carbohydrate, and you split those groups into another two groups, one that eats whenever they want and one that eats for a couple of hours a day, the only group that lives significantly longer is the group that eats for 2 hours a day. I know we're not mice, but to me, that was the clincher, that we're worrying too much about what's in our food instead of worrying about when we should be eating or not eating is the case. And calorie restriction, as we used to call it, is the most robust way to extend the lifespan of any animal. Even a yeast cell, when it's calorie restricted, it'll live 30% longer. And so intermittent fasting is just an easy way, I find, to eat fewer calories. Well, I go what the science says. I'm only science driven, nothing else to drive me. And I've just read thousands of scientific papers, and then I test stuff out on myself because I'm curious. And what has worked well is to get down to one meal a day, and I've never been healthier both on the outside or the inside. It's hard. No one's saying that what I have done now is easy, but it is easy for me now. In fact, if I go back and I start eating a big breakfast or lunch, I feel sick and I lose energy and I'm sleepy. But to get to this point, it's taken years. And the first few weeks of not eating lunch, they're really hard.